Good day, everyone. I am Omalicha. Welcome to Buwatv. On today's news in politics, ISWAP reconfirms Shekau's death, states reasons. The Islamic State West African Province, ISWAP, militant group said in an audio recording on Sunday that Abubakar Shekau, leader of rival Nigerian militant Islamist group Boko Haram, was dead. Shekau died around May 18th after detonating an explosive device when he was pursued by ISWAP fighters following a battle. A person purporting to be ISWAP leader Abu Musharraf said on the audio recording. ISWAP had framed Shekau as the problem and he was the only person they wanted to remove. Butaki said of Islamic State's attempts to lure Boko Haram commanders and fighters to their side. Shekau's death could lead to the end of a violent rivalry between the two groups, enabling Islamic State West Africa Province, ISWAP, to absorb Boko Haram fighters and consolidate its hold on territory, a northeastern Nigeria political analyst said. That would allow ISWAP to focus its attention on the government and military, whose war efforts are languishing. On the other news, PDP caucus threatens federal government over Twitter ban. The People's Democratic Party, PDP caucus in the House of Representatives has threatened legal action against the federal government over its ban of Twitter operations in Nigeria. A statement by the leader of the caucus, Kingsley Chinda, on Sunday noted that the Nigerian government does not have the power to ban the social media platform, arguing that the action lowers the country's image in the eyes of other democratic nations. We also call on the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture to immediately resign its directive to the NBC to begin the licensing of social media operators in the country, having regard to the absence of any enabling legislative framework for such directive. The statement read in part, "We hereby give you notice that in the event of the failure, refusal and/or neglect of the federal government to withdraw, reverse and/or cease the implementation of these oppressive and unconstitutional actions, we shall be constrained to institute legal proceedings at the appropriate judicial venue within the shortest possible time." While we move on, legislators talk tough on need for constitution amendments. The House of Representatives has ruled out the possibility of enacting a new constitution or reenacting the 1963 constitution as known as the Republican Constitution for Nigeria, insisting on the ongoing amendments to the 1999 constitution, which has been widely criticized and condemned. Chairman of the House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Mr. Benjamin Kalu, in an electronic interview with journalists on Sunday, criticized the Republican Constitution as archaic, saying the version has lost its merit when applied to the current realities in the country. Speaker of the House, Femi Bajimalia, had listed the issues with the 1999 Constitution presently run by Nigeria, saying the law was hurriedly put together and falls short of the required standards. Bajimilia, who spoke at the public hearing organized by the House Special Committee on the Review of the Constitution in Lagos on June 1, 2021, had partly said a nation's constitution is the foundation of its existence. It is supposed to set the terms of our nationhood and define who we are in a manner that reflects both our common truth and highest aspirations. Our constitution falls short of this standard because the 1999 constitution is the product of a hurried national compromise that we entered into 2 decades ago in order to ensure that the military returns to the barracks and that we return to democratic government. However, Carlo, in response to the calls by regional, socio-political and cultural groups for the abolition of the 1999 Constitution and the return to the Republican Constitution, noted that the 1963 Constitution was widely credited as representing the basic understanding and agreements upon which Nigeria's various ethnicities and regions came together to form the federation called Nigeria shortly after independence. He said, unfortunately, several years of military rule and oversight are seen in the process that midwifed to the 1999 Constitution gave birth to a constitution which skewed the basic understanding of the regions and ethnicities that birthed the Nigerian nation in the first place. The House spokesman listed the merits of the 1963 Constitution at the time. Kalu said, despite these merits of the 1963 Constitution, Nigerians must acknowledge that law is made for man and not man for the law. The 1963 Constitution was ideal for a Nigeria that had just attained its independence and was still asserting its sovereignty and freedom from British colonial influence. Our country, and indeed the world, has evolved from the prevailing circumstances of 58 years ago, and as such we must focus on improving the current constitution rather than adopting a 6-decade-old constitution. We must also acknowledge the fact that the 1963 Constitution was an imperfect document that had certain demerits. As we forge ahead, bandits hit Igongon town, 20 dead and properties destroyed. Suspected herdsmen have again attacked the ancient town of Igongon in Ibarapa North local government area of Oyo State, killing many residents. The bandits also burnt down the palace of the Asigan of Igongon, Obalasi Adoyo, as well as many vehicles, including a truck loaded with cassava tubers and a fuel station. Although the number of casualties could not be confirmed as of press time, claims by residents that many people were killed and corroborated by viral pictures of the attack, showing the burnt palace and corpses with machete cuts in different parts of the town. Yoruba rights activist Chief Sunday Adeomo, also known as Sunday Igbo, had on Sunday, January 15, led his supporters to dislodge the Fulani herdsmen from the community after alleged rising perpetration of criminality by the visitors or settlers in the community and its environs. The latest attack, according to residents who pleaded anonymity, was carried out in the dead of the night, leaving some of the attackers and residents who fought back, as well as a member of the Amotokun Corps identified as Adabo, dead and many others injured. However, Khan is said to have returned to the town as the state governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, said on Sunday that he received the shocking news of the attacks on residents of Igongon, Ibarapa land in the early hours of this morning, Sunday, while the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Honorable Adebayo Ogundoyin, condemned the attack. The governor said, "I have received the shocking news of the attacks on residents of Igongon, Ibarapa land in the early hours of this morning. I am currently being briefed on the incidents. I urge residents to remain calm as security operatives are now in control of the situation." The Speaker, Ogundoyin, in a message made available to journalists on Sunday, that he also received a distress call over the developments. Early this morning, I received a distress call of fresh attack on our people, Gongon, Ibarapa North local government area, by bandits and suspected criminal headers, in which about 5 residents were allegedly killed, some injured, and properties burnt. I condemn this unfortunate attack and sympathize with the families who lost their loved ones and properties. I also appreciate the security personnel, vigilantes, and motorking corps, our local hunters and brave men that rose in the middle of the night to combat and save lives of the people. These murderers are not tired, and it is our collective responsibility to protect our lives, women, children, and communities from these evildoers, he said. While efforts to get reaction from the state police command remained futile until the time of this report, as the police public relations officer Adewale Sefeso could not be reached, the state commandant of the Motokin Corps, Olayinka Olanjui, said more of his men had been deployed to the community to maintain peace. While moving ahead, NDLEA arrests 7 traffickers, intercepts 37.3 kg cocaine, others in Lagos. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have intercepted illicit drugs, including cocaine, heroin, and cannabis, weighing 37.3 kilograms, seized in 5 different bits, while 7 persons were arrested. The first attempt to bring into Nigeria 76 pounds of cocaine weighing 1.150 kg was made by Agudozie Peter on May 25, 2021, but was arrested during inward security clearance of passengers on Qatar Airline from Kenya at the arrival hall of Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. According to NDLEA spokesman Femi Bafemi, at the point of arrest, he was found in possession of 36 pounds of cocaine concealed in his pants. While under observation, he excreted additional 40 pounds. During preliminary interrogation, he confessed to have swallowed the drugs in Nairobi, but became pressed during the transit period in Doha and excreted some wraps on board the aircraft en route Lagos. Barely 2 hours after the arrest of Ihe for cocaine ingestion, NDLE operatives of the Sako export shared of the Lagos State Airport also intercepted 4.2 kilograms of heroin bound for Italy. 2 freight forwarders have been arrested in connection to the seizure. During preliminary interview, one of the suspects stated that the consignment belonged to one of his customers based in Italy, and that it was sent to him from Benin, Edo State, through a transport company. Also on May 26, 2021, during inward security clearance of passengers on Qatar Airline from Doha, NDLEA operatives at the arrival hall of the airport also arrested one Nakiya Ikechukwu, also known as Peprali Venus, with 600 grams of cocaine. The illicit drug was concealed inside Ankara dress buttons. The suspect, who hails from Imo State, however, fraudulently obtained a Ghanaian passport using Peprali Venus as his name. He is suspected to be a member of some of the illicit drug trafficking groups with multiple passports bearing different names in order to evade detection by security agencies. On the same date, NDLEA operatives at the Nako export shade of Murtala Mohammed intercepted 30.150 kgs of cannabis sativa heading to Manchester in the United Kingdom via British Airways and arrested one Anyanwu Chika, who is a cargo bag maker in connection to the bid. The drug was concealed inside 30 pieces of Bantus palm nut cream after emptying the real contents. In his confessional statement, he admitted to have been contracted by one of his customers based in Manchester and had negotiated with him for the sum of 1 million naira, but was paid only 700,000. On Thursday, June 3rd, 2021, operatives equally intercepted 11 parcels of heroin weighing 1.2 kgs concealed in 11 packs of noodles at Sako Export Shade of the Lagos airport. The drug was to go with Ethiopian Airlines to Malaysia via Addis Ababa. A freight agent and an errand boy for the owner of the exhibit were arrested in connection to the foiled bid. Reacting to the latest arrests and seizures, Murtala Mohammed, chairman, the chief executive of NDLEA, Mohammed Buba, commended the commander, Amadou Garba, officers and men of the airport command for their tenacity and commitment to the mandate of ridding the nation of illicit drugs. He charged them to remain unrelenting and always watch out for the distinious moods of concealment traffickers employed to beat detection. This brings us to the end of today's news. I am still Omalecha, and this is Buwatv.